What's up, y'all? If you're new here, my name is Debbie Rocks, Deborah. Depends on who's talking to me, depends on what I'm doing. I'm an artist. I do a lot of different things. One thing I'm also is big on talking about the important things that especially affect people in my community. So one of the things I really want to talk about was healthcare, as far as Black women and their experiences with white doctors. Now, some people know I had an operation in November, and it was a major operation. I had a white male doctor, and this man deserves all the flowers in the world because of the experience that he allowed me to have just by him being kind. And it was so genuine. It was so authentic. He was so compassionate. And not just him, but also his team. His team, they're just full of life. They have light in there, sometimes you go into a space and it's just like people got an attitude. It's like they're just so mad to be there. They're angry. Everyone has their own things going on. And I'm sure there's people on his team that have a lot of things going on, but for some reason, when they come to work and you go there, that energy, you don't feel it, And I think that's so major. But yeah, this man, every step of the way when it came to me prepping for the surgery, he was right there with me. If I had any questions, he didn't hesitate, before I could even ask a question, he was explaining things to me in so much detail. Every process, anything that could be different, anything that might change, he prepped me like I didn't have questions. I didn't need to know anything, And it was he's just safe. Like the way he speaks to you, the way he cares about you, you can tell this is a man that cares about the job that he does. Because the job he does can affect, maternity. It can affect your ability to have children in the future. He quite literally has people's legacy in his hands at times, So that's, when you really think about something like that, it's like you can only be a certain type of person working in that kind of field, You have to be somebody that's compassionate. You have to be somebody that cares about people, all types of people. And I feel like you also have to be culturally competent. And that's one thing I've noticed about him. He's just very, very aware of different cultures. He works with so many different cultures, and he's just full of life, And I just want him to be the example of what doctors should be and what Black women should be able to experience when they do go to the doctor. You should be able to have somebody that cares, someone that's compassionate, somebody that has empathy, that understands the things that you're going through and actually have a desire to want to help you. Because honestly, I'm sorry to say, a lot of people might be like, oh, why is it got to be about race? Why we got to bring race into it? Why do we have to act like we don't know that race is a thing? Why do we have to act like being colorblind is a good thing? Why do we have to act dunce? Like, we need to open our eyes and be aware of things. Like, you might be white, and I'm Black. That does not mean that I'm supposed to act like, oh, this is not a white person. You're supposed to act like I'm not a Black person. Understanding people's differences, understanding that there's white people, there's Spanish people, there's Indian people, there's Black people. We're all different. We have different cultures. A lot of us share a lot of similarities if we take the time to acknowledge those things. But there's also differences, and those differences shouldn't shape the way we treat people, especially in healthcare. And that's one of the things that constantly piss me off, because I keep hearing these stories about the poor treatment of Black women in healthcare in these hospitals. And it's just like, why are you guys in these fields where you are quite literally taking care of people? You can be the reason somebody makes it out of that hospital or not. And some people don't care. And I want y'all to start caring just a little bit more. The people that are at your front desk, let's start there. When I go to, this doctor, at the front desk, people, just lovely energy. They're playing their music, and they greet you just with a smile, just energy. It's, and again, I understand everybody has their own thing going on, but I think we also need to be mindful of the fact that this is a job that you took. This is a job that you signed up for. You understand the roles, you understand your responsibilities, and you also understand that there are women that are going to be coming into that office that are going through things as well. So the least you can do is meet them with a certain kind of energy that helps them to potentially forget about what they're going through, or just make it a little easier for them to get through the day and, go to that appointment. So all I'm really saying is we need some compassion, we need more empathy, and we need more people who care. Because if you don't care, why are you there? I'm always going to stand 10 toes on that. If you don't care, why are you there? There are other people out there that would love to make money doing a job that they care about. If you don't care about people, you don't care about people's safety, you don't care about people's health, stop getting into healthcare, please. So that's all I have to say. And I don't know, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be good to people, and know your worth. Peace.